Jemima. I'm back again with my real baby. This is Helen. I just wanted to come before you guys so you all could see her, and I've got her changed into a different outfit. You probably won't see this video until tomorrow, which Saturday, which it'll be Saturday when you watch this. So I guess I should say today, but I'm actually filming it as of yesterday. As far as the video, let me stop. Yeah, let me stop. You'll see this video on Saturday. So it's Saturday. Hello, how you doing? Happy Saturday. But I taped it on Friday. But guys, this is this is Helen, and I did change her outfit. I just wanted you guys to see her in a different outfit. She is just the cutest doll. She is the 1984 vintage Hasbro real baby. And she's 21 inches. On the box it says she's 3 pounds. But like I said, I have not reweighed her yet. I have not pierced her ears yet. Was able to brush her hair down. She had like a little pink bow up in the top that I took out, and I had to get that glue stuff out of her hair. Her hair is really nice and good condition because she was new. She was just like she was in the store in the box. And the seller, mailed it off really good. Everything was in there, packaged good, perfect box where nothing was able to get damaged. On the shipment to me, it got shipped out really fast. Like I said, I ordered her off of eBay. I had been looking for her. You can find the doll on eBay. You can find it on Etsy. They had some on Mercari, but like I said, a lot of the places that you go to, you might see it where it looks like it's been played with, and you can do a lot of other things with it. But me, I wanted one that had not been opened. It was more like as if I was opening the new doll, even though it's a vintage doll. And the one that I received, this one right here, which is Heather, which is the wide-eyed 1984 vintage Hasbro real baby. And I've been looking at one with the eyes closed also as her twin, but I wanted them where they were in the box. So I am so excited to have her. There are a lot of dolls that I've had. I'm so excited about my collection because there have been dolls that I wanted and I saw and I was able to get them. I'm just a person, I just love dolls. I don't care what type of doll it is. It's not that I will make a doll the way I want it. I've learned how to reweigh. I've learned how to root hair. I know how to root the silicone. I know how to root the vinyl. I know how to mend the silicone now. I have not painted a silicone or a vinyl yet, and that's my next steps. But I'm just so excited to where I am as far as my doll collection, and I love every one of them. There has always been a dream to me to have my dolls in one area, one room, have my dolls on one side of the room. And I love to read too, and have my books and all my books on a bookcase on the other side of the room, where I have it's my office, but I have my collection on one side and I have my books on the other side. That has been a dream of mine, and that's what I'm pushing for. I mean, I have my dolls mostly in a storage now because it's a lot of them. I go back and forth and I check on them. It's a climate control storage. Until I have a big enough space where I can put them all in one space. Right now, what I do is I go and I kind of change them out. If it's one I'm going to cuddle up with, or 2 or 3 I want to cuddle up with, I get them and I have them with me with a couple of clothes and stuff. But I have them all arranged a certain way so I know exactly where they are and labeled. And, I just love my collection. I mean, there are things that people do, in their lives, and I can't tell you guys that at one point I wasn't silly with my collection because I was just buying. Didn't care how much the doll cost or nothing, which, is a silly thing because you don't want to get to that point. I had to shake myself and I had to get back to reality. But, if it's something that you want and you work, get what you want. It's a lot of things we can't afford or kind of throw our money into because we have to be conscientious about what we do. But we go to work every day and we work. And at some point, if we want to get something that we want, you should be able to do that. like I said, I'm not saying get carried away like I did in the beginning, because I did. I got so carried away. I mean, I would see dolls on auction. I'm like, I'm getting that doll. You know, I don't care. I don't care what. I mean, I was paying my bills. You know, I was, you know, paying my car payment, my insurance, and everything, because I've always had a job where I've had insurance on my job, life insurance, and everything. I've always had everything set up. But you know, I was just like, you know, this is like a dream come true. I have always wanted to be to the point where if it's a doll I want, I could get my doll. I'm gonna get that doll, you know, and just, especially once my boys were grown, child boo. Let me tell y'all something. Once my boys were grown and, you know, they were not my responsibility anymore, you know, every once in a while they would call, say, Mom, you know, can you help me with this? You know, I help them out. You know, they give it back. And, well, one of them don't. But, but you know, they give it back. But once they were grown and they were out of my nest, I was just like, I'm going to get what I want. I'm going to do what I want to do. You know, I'm start planning trips. I'm going to start getting the things that I want. You know, and the only thing is that I've been trying to, and that's the biggest thing, because when I say you get out of hand sometimes with your hobby, it's because I was buying dolls, but then I was not thinking about a lot of times about a rainy day. So that's the point that I'm at now. I'm trying to be conscientious of what I do, but still, I mean, I'm not going crazy buying dolls like I used to, but if I see a vintage doll that I want, or I see a silicone doll, I'll pay on it. I pay on it and I get it. I mean, I take my time. I mean, I won't just go out and just buy it all of a sudden like I used to. But this one right here, she was really reasonable. And most of the dolls I get now are pretty reasonable. You know, you got Temu, you got Afterpay, you got all kinds of stuff. You know, no, you don't want to, you know, get yourself in debt. Which, no, that's not what we're trying to do. But the thing is, you want to be able to get the things that you want to get. And, you know, if you're able to do that, you do it. If you're not, then you can just put it to the side and do what you want with your money when you get a chance. But, you know, it's your money. You know, we live once. You know, we live one time. We've got one life that we live, and we need to live our lives to the fullest. Be conscientious of the things that are important. Prioritize. Do what we need to do. Love the Lord. Be thankful for your life. And live it. Live it. Don't let anybody deter you from anything that you want to do. And trust me, listen to me, I'm not telling anybody to go out and spend your money on dolls and any kind of thing if you don't have it. If you don't have it, you know, you have to, like I said, prioritize. You know what comes first. You know what's important. Like, I'm going to make sure the car payment paid and all that stuff. Everything's going to be paid. And light bill, phone bill, you know, rent, all that stuff is going to be paid. Living arrangements, all that's going to be paid. But I'm saying, if you have something set aside and you're able to do it, then you know you do what you want to do. You know, you think about, you know, what's more important, but you live your life. Do what you want to do. So, so that's what I'm trying to say. Like I said, I'm not trying to tell anybody to go out and spend your money or do anything that you shouldn't do. Please understand me. Don't be foolish with your money. Like I'm gonna admit, I was foolish at first when I first started getting into this hobby. It was like in 2014 when I first got into the hobby. And I mean, once I got the first doll, I was just like, oh my God, these dolls so realistic. I love this. Because my mom, I don't know if you all seen my videos before, but my mom started out getting Ashton Drakes. And she was getting them like on a cycle. My mom was getting collections. She was like getting the whole set. And she was getting them like that. And I'm like, oh, that doll's realistic. And then, you know, you pick it up and I'm like, where'd you pay for this? And she was like, they're so nice. And, you know, she was getting, but then I was just like, okay. So then when I got the first reborn doll that I got, which was an original reborn, it was the Cheyenne kit. As a Cheyenne kit, I saw her on eBay and I was like, and she was at a good price. I was like, well, I can afford that, you know, because I've been wanting one of these dolls. When I got it, of course, she had the she had the, she had the 3/4 limbs on the legs and the arms. And, you know, and she was weighted good. And when I picked her up, it's still, you know, I wasn't getting that feeling. But then after a while, I started watching more YouTube videos, and I started getting more dolls. And then I received Jaleesa, which was my Knox kit. I got, I forgot the artist. Was it Thelma Ritchie in Conyers, Georgia? I think that's where it came from, the artist. And I just fell in love with that doll when I saw it on eBay. And she was a little bit more expensive. And then I worked out a deal, and I was able to get her. And she was my first. And then I did not even know, after I read the description, that she had full limbs. So when I got her and I saw she had full, I was like, she has full limbs. And when I dressed her, I was like, oh my goodness, this is nice. She was weighted really well. She had weight in her head, in which my Cheyenne also had weight in the head also. But, you know, she was not weighted quite the way I wanted. So then I started watching more videos. I started learning how to reweigh them. I started learning about the zip ties and the glass beads. And then I started learning about the poly pellets, the different glues that you can use, the silicone glue to keep them together, certain other glues that you could do. I started getting into that. And so with that, there started being Ashton Drakes that I liked. And when I got the Ashton Drakes, I changed them. I reweighed them. And then the Ashton Drakes, to me, felt like I wanted them to feel. So I have a couple of I have some Ashton Drakes also. And then I started getting more reborn dolls by original artists. Then after a while, I started seeing kits that were you know, no longer available. I started seeing the dolls on Amazon and some on Etsy and different places. And then that's when I started getting those, and people started going crazy about, you know, the replicas and all this kind of stuff. To me, it wasn't a replica because the artist still sculpted the kit. So to me, even if I got it from China or if I bought it from Amazon, the actual look of the kit was sculpted by the sculptor. So I always gave the sculptor credit for that. And I say, you know, I got it from Amazon. This is the such and such sculpt by that. You know, and then things just started getting even more crazier. But the thing is, with all that, because I don't want to get in the spell of that, because I start getting upset about like that, and I'm trying to stay cool. But with the replicas and all this stuff, you know, I never once let anybody take that away from me. And that's why when I come on this channel and I say, do not allow anyone to steal your joy. Do not allow anybody to steal your joy. If you notice, and let me tell you something, I have not even shown you all. You've seen some dolls that I've gotten. You have not seen my entire collection. You have not. I have, like I said, I have Barbie dolls. I have Pops. I have all kinds of, you know, things in my collection. My son buys me Pops and all this stuff. I have not introduced my Pops. I have not introduced my Barbie dolls. There are a lot of things that I have in my collection, and you know, people just don't understand when they make certain comments about certain things. You don't know everything that people have that they're collecting. I'm a collector of things that I know no longer are here available to me, and then the things that I see that are coming out now, I look at it and I was like, you know what, 10 years or 20 years from now, that's gonna be vintage. So you know what, while I see it and it's beautiful, I'm gonna get it. And that's what I do. And then I like to collect books because I read off a Kindle and different things like that. But I love to read. I read, I sing. There are times I play the piano. I used to play the piano more, but then when I graduated from high school, I wasn't playing as much. I played in church sometimes. So there are a lot of things that I do. I like theater. I enjoy movies. I collect movies. I don't collect them like I used to because the CDs, they just collect. But now you can buy things digitally. So there are old movies that I like. I'm a Turner Classic movie woman. I like black and white. I like, you know, older shows and all those things. So it's different things that people like to do. But like I said, I do what I want to do with my money. Because I do it because I enjoy it. It's not that I'm trying to tick anybody off. It's not that I'm trying to offend anyone. Wherever credit is due, I give that credit. You know, but we've got to get to the point where we stop insulting people and we stop trying to make people feel bad because what we think they shouldn't be doing, everyone has their own they have their own thoughts, they have their own opinions about different things, and they have to be able to do that. They have to be able to live their lives fully, to the fullest, for themselves, not for everybody else, for themselves. But guys, like I said, I didn't mean to take a spill on that. I was just talking about my collection and the things that I like to do. It's just so much that I like to do. It is. It's just so much. And like I said, I have to put the discipline on. I have to discipline. I can't keep doing it. But like I said, when I see vintage things and things that I like to, things that I see coming out, and it's at a reasonable price, because I haven't been spending money like crazy like I used to. I haven't. Besides, I have a man in my life now. He'd be like, don't you do it. Don't you do it. So, I have settled down a lot. But, guys, before I go again, this is Heather Helen. Again, she is the vintage 1984 Hasbro wide-eyed real baby. And, guys, until the next time, Heather and I say bye-bye. Don't you allow anybody to take your joy. All right? God loves you, and so do I. All right, bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye.